Tropicana's tropical fruit juice really gives this fruit loaf a real punch. It's perfect recipe to make the day before, and it's a great alternative to boring old toast. So in here I've got some strong plain bread flour, and to that I'm going to add some quick action dry yeast. So that goes down into one side, and then sugar. This is a sweet loaf. It's a bit like, I would say, malt loaf or something like that, so you do need a bit of sugar in it. And then spices. This is ground cinnamon and a bit of ginger, which gives it a bit of heat, and then a real aroma mixed spice. The great rule is mixed spices for sweet things, allspice for savoury. Sometimes people get those mixed up. And then for bread you need a little bit of salt. It gets rid of that yeasty flavour, but don't put it directly on top of the yeast because that will kill it. So put that the other side for the moment. And then give that all a good mix up. You can already start to smell the spices in this one. So that's all my dry ingredients. Now for the wet. I've got a little bit of melted butter, a little bit of warm milk. Now you don't need this to be warm, but it does help activate the yeast and it gets it rising quicker. Followed by an egg. Again, that adds to the brioche texture rather than the traditional bread texture. Give that a whisk up. And then the best bit, the Tropicana Tropical fruit juice. This really brings the whole loaf together with the dried fruit in it, which we put later on. And it also reduces the quantity of butter and milk, so it's that little bit of health as well. So this all then gets mixed into our flour and spice mixture. Now this is the messy bit. Kids will love this. If you want to stay a little bit cleaner, you use the end of a wooden spoon just to get this going. So once you get a slight doughy mess, it's time to get it out onto the work surface. Now if you can bear with it, it is a little sticky to start with, but you just need to keep working it until it comes together. And all this crumbly mixture will come into a beautiful smooth dough. So one more quick knead, shape it into a ball and pop it into a clean bowl. And then simply cover it, and you want to leave this in a warm place for about 2 to 3 hours until it's doubled in size. So my dough's been sitting for about 2 or 3 hours, and as you can see, it's completely transformed and doubled in size. So now what you need to do is the fun bit. This is called knocking back, and doesn't refer to a drink, it refers to your fist and punching the air out of the dough. And then you can scoop this out. And now it's time to knead in all that delicious fruit. You can use whatever you want. If you've got sultanas left in the fridge, if you've got cherries, mango, anything really, can just be kneaded into this. So exactly the same process as last time. Scatter the work surface with these and it'll just pick them up. You can shape it into a nice loaf and pop it into a greased loaf tin. So that can go in, it doesn't need to be neat. Push it into the corners. You simply leave this again in a warm place for another hour or so, and it will rise up, get a beautiful dome top, and then pop in the oven at about 180 for about 40 minutes. So this has been in the oven for 40 minutes and the kitchen smells amazing with all those spices. It's beautifully risen and got a lovely golden brown colour. And the way to test whether your loaf is ready or not, it should feel quite light, and if you tap the bottom, it sounds hollow. So that is perfect. The best way to serve this for me is with a little bit of salted butter. It's light, it's slightly sweet, it has a slightly cakey texture with the addition of the little bit of butter and the egg. And the fruit, and especially that tropical fruit juice from Tropicana, really does give it a little bit of a kick.